Well, hello and welcome to question and answering session part 2 at Courtney's house. Guess what? Courtney's house has a new face. Did you see our logo on our brand new website? Thank you for voting for Courtney's house for the DVF Awards, and that's why we're answering your questions right now. How long did it take Tina to get out of the life? This is a very good question that I get asked and often a lot of times, and many of our survivors as well. So I'm going to answer your question with a question. Have you ever wanted to change a piece of your life that you're unhappy with? Okay. How long did it take you? All right, we're done. Have you changed? And so with that said, that took me about 10 to 12 years to change my life around. And that's why at Courtney's House we offer long-term services to help our survivors. That was 10 to 12 years without any services. So imagine what we can do in 3 to 4 years. Thank you so much for that. We have another question. Was Tina on drugs? If so, what was her recovery like? I oftentimes get asked the same question. There is no blanket to sex trafficking, so that means that my experience might not be the next person's experience as well. I was not addicted to drugs, and many of our survivors were not addicted to drugs. And as my children will say, thank goodness, because that would have been one more thing that I had to overcome. So with that said, there was no recovery time because I wasn't addicted to drugs. What police do you work with? This is a great question because we couldn't do our work without the support of police. We sit on the D.C. Human Trafficking Task Force. We also sit on the Maryland Human Trafficking Task Force and on the Northern Virginia Human Trafficking Task Force. With that said, we have a lot of wonderful police here and around the country that help support Courtney's House efforts. With that said, special shout out to Montgomery County, Maryland for their wonderful police who really take this issue on. Thank you so much to Baltimore County as well, who is really dedicated to ending sex trafficking as well. Special shout out to where I was trafficked, Chicago, for Cook County Police. Their dedication, their input for survivors is remarkable, and we are looking forward to continuing supporting and partnering with them. Iowa. Thank you so much for Internet Crimes. Internet Crimes doing amazing things in Iowa, and I'm so looking forward to the wonderful trainings that we're doing with them. Thank you so much for all the police that I did not mention that really support Courtney's House as well. What motivates you to stay so positive? That's an excellent question because it's very hard working in the anti-trafficking world with a small grassroots organization. It's not a lot of us staff here. So we have 3 staff, over 200 volunteers, and wonderful interns. They support me. Be happy because we're a family here at Courtney's House, and it's just a fun place to be with so many amazing people, staff, interns, volunteers who are truly dedicated and see my vision. So I really appreciate because I couldn't do this without all of their support. Thank you all. We love you so much, all those volunteers there. Last question. Would legalizing prostitution be a good idea? This is a very controversial question, but a very good question. So here at Courtney's House, we would like to say no! No. And the reason why we're saying no is that criminals don't really think that way, right? Criminals look at things in an aspect of how can we get around it to do what I can do in a legal way. So that means they'll find loopholes. Let's look at Amsterdam for that. Amsterdam did legalize prostitution, and now over 30 brothels had to be closed because of trafficking. And that's what's going to happen with criminals. So thank you so much for these wonderful questions. Thank you for voting Courtney's House because you have until this Friday. Thank you so much for all your wonderful support.